How's it going, everyone? From the looks of the cartridge, this is NES. We're going to be working on NESs today. Just came up from the outdoor market, and I had three guys come in and ask me for original NES systems. We're going to use Super Mario Brothers 2 for testing because at this moment, I don't know where any of my original Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt are. And they didn't specify whether they wanted the short version or the complete version with the zapper gun. So at this time, I will put them together with the zapper guns if I have enough zapper guns. If not, that'll be the short version with just Super Mario Brothers and the system and controllers. Now, we got to start here. We got a cartridge to test with. Now we need some systems to work on. Well, over here in my mountain of crap in my garage, I have 10 NES systems sitting here. You can see that one I had already I tested it and put repair on it, and I think some of these may even be half tore apart because I needed parts for other ones. Oops. But what we are going to do is we are going to take a bunch of these over and we are going to start testing them and see what we have to do to get 3 systems put together. We can get them working, and then we're going to have to go down over there to the hoard, the stash, and get controllers and everything out for them. Now, the RF adapters on these are the same as the other RF adapters. You know, you can screw them right onto the cable in. Now, what's nice about the NES is let me grab one of these systems and we'll take it over and I'll show you what I'm getting at here. We'll get Mr. Repair out and bring him over to the bench, since this will probably be the first one we play with anyway. You can use, like I said, you can use the RF adapter and screw it right into your cable, or you can use an AV cable and just come out with your video and your red audio, which makes it really nice because on some of the newer TVs you don't have the cable screw in, but they still have a few AV jacks left on them, so you can still run these on an LCD. Now, when you run these on an LCD, you cannot use the zapper gun. The zapper gun only works on CRT TVs. And so if you have one and you tried hooking it up to your LCD and your zapper gun doesn't work in Duck Hunt, that is why you have to have the CRT in order for the Duck Hunt and zapper gun to work. Bummer, but hey, that's the way it goes. And you know, if you want to dig up an old CRT TV and get one of those working, which yeah, it's the same as some of our arcade machines that have the gun machines. You cannot put an LCD in them because the gun won't work. It's a light gun, and the CRT can pick it up because of it having the big vacuum tube. It can pick it up, but on the LCD it cannot pick it up. So, geez, sounds like my stomach. Sounds like it must be time for supper. But we are going to try and get three of these systems working, so I can take them down next weekend. This is Saturday. I go down to the market tomorrow, one more day. But they said next weekend, if you can have systems ready, that they will buy them. And I know how that goes. It's like a be back. Oh, I'll be back for that. And you never see them again. So I'll get you set up in the stand. I'll get the TV over here, and we'll get this one hooked up, and we'll see what the hell it's doing. Okay. System. TV. Little AV cord. And there. AC adapter. I run a lot of these old school AC adapters. I've had really good luck with the ones in the yellow box. These ones actually have a transformer in them, and not just a bunch of capacitors and diodes changing your voltage. These ones, like I said, I've had really good luck with these old schools. These ones are 3-in-1. You can run your NES and your Mega Drive, one of the Segas. Let me look at that. Yeah, that'll be the 16-bit. That'll fit in the 16-bit. And you can't see a damn thing I'm doing. Let's do this over. Okay. Put that up there so you can see what I'm talking about. Now these are 3-in-1s. You already heard all that. This one, like I said, NES and Sega 16-bit, which in other countries they're called the Mega Drive. And then you also have Super NES. So if you have a bad NES cord or Super NES cord, you can buy the old school, not affiliated, no promotion, no nothing, no sponsor, just this is one I like to use. You can run your NES or your Super NES off of the same power pack. Because some of this stuff's getting harder to find original OEM parts for. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we need to get this powered up and see what the heck it's doing. If I can't remember right off, let me set you right up in there, right off what this one is doing. It probably has the dreaded blinky light going on. Yeah, which, you know, most of these old NESs do. And you end up having to put in a new 72-pin game connector. Okay, get some power on the TV. We'll get our system with some juice going to it. Let's see, we need to change the input to AV. Okay. Let me peel off my sticker I have on here. Yeah, we can just cut it and see what it does. Okay, power. Let's see. Oh, shoot. God, that pin connector is totally wore out. Yep. We have Mr. Blinky. All we're doing is blinking our red light. Now, sometimes you can get lucky, and if you pull your cartridge out a little bit, this is for people that don't have the 72-pin game connector. You just pull your cartridge out and then push it in just enough to where it'll clear and go in. Sometimes they work. Which, this one, this pin connector is so floppy. I mean, you can put the cartridge in it and you shouldn't be able to do that. This is my game anyway, so don't worry about that. So, you know what we have to do. For starters, new 72 pin game connector. These things I keep around by the dozen because every NES I get in gets a new 72 pin game connector. Even if it's working, I'll still put one in because most of the time they're so floppy. See, this is where the game goes in. It'll slide right in there and you can feel the resistance. You know, it won't come out. Watch it fall out. That has, you can actually feel it grabbing a hold of the contacts in the game. So we know this one, like a $2 hooker. That's loose as hell. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to tear Mr. NES down here and put a new game connector in it and see if we can't get this one up and running. This one I haven't had apart. Like I said, some of those I have. There's 6 Phillips screws. I need my, oh shoot, I don't have my magnetic tray. I think they're all full of screws for other projects I'm working on. And there's 6 Phillips head screws. No securities on the NES consoles, but on the games they have the securities on them. We'll get these out. The 2 in the center. There we go. Sticker is going to hinder us. And looky there. There's our NES. In its glory. And it's topless. Cool. Now, we have to take off this metal shielding. The metal shielding, I don't know if anybody's actually ever said what it's for, but you know, if it's on there, then it must be needed. What I figure, and this is just my opinion, and what I feel that it's for, is for shielding from actual frequencies and distortion coming in. You know, back in the, let's see, this was, NES was, what, 80? 1980 was when they came out? Or, I don't know. I could look it up, but I'm sure somebody out there knows more about it than me, and frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn. But, okay, after the shielding's off of it, we have to take our actual game tray out of it. And there's 4 screws, 4 short screws for the game tray. And then there's 2 longer ones with silver head. Those actually hold your game connector down. Now we also have to take out, there's two more screws there, and then there's one way down in here next to the heat sink and capacitor. Capacitor? How about capacitor? That has to come out, and that's holding down our board and bottom shielding. Now you can pick this whole guy up and you can slide your game tray right off. And there's our 72 pin game connector. You can just pull him off. Little crud on there. At least it doesn't look like little Johnny dumped pop in it. Little Johnny must have been pretty nice with this one. And now it gives you a chance. You can check everything and clean everything up. If it's doity, normally. Pull your shielding. Come on. Oh, hell. Take out this one terminal. There we go. And now your shielding is loose. You can remove the shielding if you need to and clean it. But now we can get on both sides of this connector here. A lot of people have asked me what this was for. At one time, Nintendo was going to have an expansion for the NES, and so they built that in case they got the expansion ready, and then they could do the expansion on the NES. But what had happened is they ended up coming out with the Super NES before they started making any expansions or anything for the NES. This board is 1987 Nintendo. So that's a little newer board. I'd have to go check. But I'm almost positive that early 80s is when the NES came out. But then again, I may be full of dog yogurt. But I've done enough of these to know that, and I had the NES when it first came out. I got the Atari 2600 when it first came out in '78. And then when the Nintendo came out, the original NES, I got it brand new when it first came out. And then after that, I was done. I never bought another game system new again. I always wanted a cube and never got a GameCube until I started the game store, and now I have a GameCube. I never got into PlayStation until, PlayStation was old. So Atari 2600 and NES are my two systems that I played the heck out of when I was younger. Now granted, when the NES came out, I was already out of high school. I had already graduated, and that was just something that me and the girlfriend, we played the living hell out of it. Especially Super Mario Brothers and Zelda were our two favorite games. But that's beside the point now. I have to go get a few things, and we'll get this connector cleaned up so we can get the new one put in. Okay, before we clean that connector, I do want to let you know that, on the old pin connector, if you can stretch these pins out and make them tighter again. When I first started doing these, I seen a lot of people doing this, so I decided that I'd try it, and it does work if you don't have the $15 for a new 72 pin game connector, or you don't want to wait, or you just want to get it up and running so you can play. Is you can take a little poker. I made this one up especially to get under there, and with God, Get out of there. What you have to do is you take your little poker, I have a little hook on it, is you can get down in here and get under the pin. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. You can get under the pin and lift it up and stretch it back out. The back ones are a little harder, but you can, you can do them. There's a little clip right on the top here. See those little holes? There's a little clip there. What you do is you push it down, and that whole pin, been a while since I've done this, I just put new ones in, is if you push that down, watch, I won't be able to do it. You push it down, you can pull the whole pin out. And then what you do is you take him and you stretch him down a little bit so he'll push down onto the cartridge again, like so. Push him down. Now you smashed that little clip down, so you have to come on the back side and push that little clip back up. So when you put him back in, he will snap into place, like so. And now you have that one done, and you have to do that 72 times on the bottom. No. You have to do that 36 times on the bottom and 36 times on the top, giving you your 72 pin game connector. Like I said, if you have the time and you don't want to, you don't want to wait, you can sit down and do them. And they do work. You've seen me do that one. Maybe later on in the video I'll go ahead and fix one of these and show you that it does work. But in the meantime, we just want to see if we can get this one going. And like I said, I buy the new ones like 12 at a time, because I'm always putting them in for other people, which you don't see, because this is just normal stuff for me to do throughout the week, that I'll fix a game system for somebody if they needed one fixed or wanting it fixed, or I'm fixing them to sell. And sometimes it's just not interesting, I guess. I wouldn't think it is, because I do it all the time, so it just doesn't seem like it would be interesting. But I don't know. Figured I'd make this video and see if it's interesting to anybody else. Now, I use brass cleaner, brass polish. I mean, yeah, I know I'll catch flack for that, but it works, so I use it. You can get actual, contact cleaner or whatever. I take the little bit of brass polish and I just go ahead and clean them up. You can see the tarnish that comes off of them. Does it help? I don't know. I just do it because I'm used to doing it. Just cleaning them up. This one had a little bit of a booger down there on the end, like something had gotten spilled in there. It was just some brown stuff, I don't know. Maybe little Johnny stuck his booger covered finger in there and got it on the contact. And then I just take, after I scrub them down, and then I just polish them up. And you can see, I polish it up, and that's the dookie that comes off of it. Now, I'll show you. Let me get him out of the way. We'll put that back down on there, and you can see now, know how clean they come, even with just brass polish. Now we're ready to start reassembling. We'll get our shielding back on. What's nice is you don't have to worry, you know, if wires fall off. We've got a little bit of a dust bunny here we can get rid of. But no vermin turds. And the green one goes in the small clip, and the blue one goes in the blue. Get those two put back on. And we can just lift this up a little bit and we'll get our new 72 pin game connector. Line up the holes. There's a hole on either side, here and here, that line up with your board. And then we can fight with our heat shield, or shielding again. And now we have to put in our game tray. Works good. Now, a little trickier is putting this back in. He has to go under the game connector. And in the front, get it that far, in the front, you see this, can you see that? Let's move up a little bit. There's a tab right here. That has to go under your board, and this two flat areas have to go on top of the board. And so we will, oh, come on. Oh, okay, under and on top. So when you put him back down in, you can see it worked. And I've had it where that little black tab, when you put the tray back in, will end up on top of the board, and it screws up the game tray. It doesn't want to work right. And when you put it back down in, make sure you don't have any of your wires or anything under your board. There's a little locating pin here and right there. One there and one right there that locates everything in position. And now we are ready to put this back in. I will get a couple of these put in the heat shield. I want to keep calling it a heat shield, but it's I know it's an interference. It's just to protect the game system from interference. I'll get our tray, game tray, screwed down. Now these long ones, remember, they go up front. And we're a little off center here. Let's loosen everything up. I got one screw that doesn't want to go in. what it was is that the... Alright, sorry about that. Dead battery. Okay, we got a couple screws in it. Got the game tray held down. Now we can test it and see how our work is. And if this one is worth putting back together, or if it's going to be one that's going to be a problem child, which I've had in the past. Much better. Down. And ouch, come on. But no game. Alright. Now I have had these in the past. Where I've had to put them in and out a couple of times in order for it to kind of clean the contacts up from grease. And my game should be clean. And still, reset, nothing. Try one more time. Oh, see, now we're back to flashing. Up. Okay, let's try this again. I went ahead and cleaned my cartridge again. If you don't know how to clean your game cartridges, I have a video that I posted, I don't know, probably a year ago on how to clean cartridges. You can check any of them for the Super NES or the N64, any of these game cartridges, Sega. I have videos up on how to clean your cartridges, and now we will see what it does. Come on. And there it is. Oh, catchy ditty, isn't it? Okay. Now we can finish putting him together. I don't know, for some reason every time I pull that cartridge out, I hit the on-off switch. Okay, we'll put our shielding back on. Oh, forgot. Why didn't you tell me? You let me put that on there and start putting screws in it, and you didn't. You forgot to tell me that I have 2 screws left to put in our game tray. See how you are? You were going to let me put that all together and forget to put them in. Tell you. The hell kind of friend are you if you won't tell me that? There. Now remember, you're just putting these screws into plastic. So you don't have to get real, you don't have to go Hercules on them. Just snug them up. When you first put your screw in, if you go backwards, you can usually hear it click. And then you can run it right down in, it'll follow those threads right back in. Sometimes they click and sometimes they don't, but if you go backwards, there it clicked, and you can see that screw will run right back down in there. And you're not cutting new threads into the plastic and stripping them out. You can feel when you're putting the screws down in, if they turn down in nice and easy without a whole lot of effort, then you know you're back in the threads. Just saves the plastic, and they'll hold better if you're right down into the original threads. Back, there's a click, and you can see it'll just go right down in. And it definitely helps if you have a magnetic screwdriver. Okay, I am going to clean the top real good, and I'm gonna get rid of the dust bunnies in it. I'll blow it out with compressed air, and we'll be ready to move on to some controllers. Okay, got it all cleaned up. On the console here, the only thing bad on the whole console is the door has a little bit of yellowing here. You know, and there's some scrapes on it, but that's no biggie. Got rid of the dust bunnies out of it. And that ditty will really get to you after a while. So I am going to turn him down. Now, what happens to these connectors is people will put a game in, push it down, and play the game, and then turn the console off and leave. So the game's always in here pressing down on those contacts. And what it does is, over time, is it squishes them down and squishes the bottom ones down and the top ones up, and they get real loose, and then they stop making contact. Because if it was, you know, just because there was a tape in it, on and off, you know, they will stay in good condition, but everybody always put the game in, shoved it down, played the game, and then when they were done, shut the console off and go do something else, come back, just turn the console on and start playing again. And that squishes those contacts down and stretches them out. But like I said, you can fix them, or you can put a new one in and be done with it. So now what we have to do is we have to go out to my stash and find some controllers to see if we can get some good controllers going for it. This is Saturday evening. I'm hungry. So I'm going in the house, and I will pick this up tomorrow, Sunday, when I get back from the outdoor market, and we'll get this one finished up and see if we can't get a couple more going. Alright guys, it's Sunday evening. Just got back up from the market, and now we need to get some controllers in that for this. I got it cleaned up. I think I already said that last night, and she's working. So we're gonna go take a look in my stash, hoard, junk pile, whatever you want to call it. So I'll meet you down there. Okay, back in this fun place again with my mud floor. Got the, okay, I know I have a crap load of, I don't know if it's a crap load anymore. I've used a lot of controllers out of there. I'm gonna have to empty that basket. Yeah, there's some controllers in there. I don't know if I have any good ones in there. Those are my, yeah, N64 power supplies in there. You can see this place is kind of a cluster. You know, that's what happens when you don't have all the room in the world that some people do. Let's see. Oh shoot, that's my wall mount for my TV over at the store. And that looks like, yeah, that's a Wii drive there. Put that there. That looks like a 360 drive. Yep. Is that a BenQ? Yep, Philips light on digital. Yeah, that's a good one. I need to save that. There's some parts in that I need out of there. That looks like a power supply. Yeah, that's a PS3 power supply. Okay, now we get down in here. That is the remote for the remote eye for Scope 8. Is that the name of the game? I have the scope somewhere too. I'll have to dig that out sometime. Okay, we have a big one there, but yeah, this one's for, there's a yellow, nice yellowed one there. There's one, I might have to do a little work on the wiring. On that one, there's those funky little ones for the NES Mini, Slim, whatever. There's a gray zapper gun. We'll keep the gray zapper gun. There's another one there. Nope, there's a dog bone. That's for the Slim as well. A couple of those. There's an RF adapter. Is that one good? Yep, well, we can send that with one too. Yeah, there's a few controllers down in here. Some more wiring. What the hell is that wiring for? Oh, that's security system. Okay. Ooh, there's a nice looking one. That's an aftermarket. That is an aftermarket. No wonder it looks so good. Couple of those. Yeah, there's two of the aftermarkets. Okay, keep that in mind. Just in case. Power supply. What's that for? Oh, that's a Jaguar. Jaguar power supply. Wish I still had my Jaguar, but had to sell it last year because I needed the money. There's another one that's yellow. Dog bone, not dog bone, but that one's not too awful bad. But I have a bunch of them here. I got everything out of it so we can get at those controllers. But I have a flat here that I bought at the auction, I think last summer. And there's some PS or NES controllers, and there's a regular PlayStation. Let's just take this whole box out of there and set it up on the tractor and see what the hell is in it. There we go. Yeah, ooh, that one looks like it may have been in the water. Oh yeah, I remember that one. That one is pretty well trashed. But I bought the box for, there's two really decent looking NES controllers in here. There's another another good one. That's 3. And we have the old TAC 3. Let's see, those for the NES. Yeah, they got the right plug, but they plug in Genesis too. They're not going to be branded because Nintendo didn't make anything like that. PlayStation. PlayStation Pro Pad. Auto fire. Oh, that's pretty nice. That's why I bought that box too. I wanted that. That's Intertech. And there's okay, I'm gonna grab this crap and the other crap, and we're gonna haul this stuff in and see what we can come up with. Okay, this is the mess I come up with for at least one. We'll get one going, and then I'll work on other ones. But anyway, I have three controllers that came out of that little flat with that nasty PlayStation in it. We have an original AV cord for the NES, got a zapper gun and an RF module. Zapper gun, we're just going to have to take for granted that it works because I don't have a CRT TV. And what I will do, this one's a little rough, I'll have to look at the other one, see what it looks like. Those two, or at least we're going to put those two off to the side for right now, because we want to at least get controllers that work. And we get controllers that work, that's going to be half the battle. We need 2 of them to work. Oops, excuse me. When you bought the NES, you got 2 controllers with it. Let's see. Well, let's try this one. This is, put that in 1. Let's see. I know. Give it some volume so we can hear this goofy little song. Back on. Ooh. It does not like that controller. Okay, what happened? We have a no signal. Okay. When I had my hand under there, I hit the input. So now let's try. Push start button. Okay. Let's see, select. Okay. Oops. Nah, okay. This one works. All the buttons on that one work. Okay, try another one. This one's a little funky. Okay, everything works on that one. I never played Super Mario 2 much at all, so I'm not going to be very good at it whatsoever. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what this is all about. Dang it. Okay. Okay, we got 3 good controllers here. Now we got to get them. Man, them suckers are filthy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these controllers apart and clean them, and so we know that they are good. We need a little Phillips. That's a straight. Little Phillips. Too big. That one go in there? Nope, still too big. I guess I'll have to use that wee little one. Now, if you've never taken these apart, they're very, very simple. You have 6 screws. To take out. That one's a little rusty. We have 3 good controllers. We'll take the 2 best and put them with this one, and then we will see what else we got and see if we can find another good one. There's 6 little screws, and you get the cover off, and most of these. We have our membrane switches. That's all there is to them. And I'll take this stuff over and get it all cleaned up, and then we'll clean the actual controller pad and the switches, or the membrane switches. Yeah, I got it all cleaned up. Looks pretty good. Now we have to deal with those. And I cleaned up the cord too. This was working, so you know it's not going to be, we don't have to worry too much about getting it cleaned because it's not working. I just want to get it cleaned up just for peace of mind, I guess. This is what I always do. I just have regular alcohol on this, and I'll wipe off the contacts really good and get them cleaned up. And you can see it a little bit, not much. And I do the same with on here too. You just clean them up. And yeah, here. This is our A-B button, D-pad, and our start and select. Just kind of dry them off a little bit. Suck up a little bit of that alcohol. Okay. Well, we'll start with our D-pad. Goes in there. A B button. Start select. A and B. D-pad. Take our controller board, and there's guide pins that come right up through, so you can't put it in the wrong position. And then we'll wrap him around. It's a one screw. More rusty. All right. Let's get her hooked up again. All right. And she's working again. So now we have one good one ready to go. And what I need to do is I'll get another one cleaned up, and then we'll be ready with 2 good controllers. Since we have 3 good ones, I'll pick the other next best one, and we'll get it put together and cleaned up. I took the other 2 controllers apart and got them all cleaned up. We have this one has a little bit of yellowing here on the back. This is the best one of the 2, so we'll use it. And this one has a little yellowing around the edges here. Plus, one of the AB yeah, God, come on. One of the AB membrane pads. You can see it just kind of fell apart when I was trying to clean it. It just, you know, silicone or whatever it's made out of, it just kind of deteriorates over time. And that's that one. But we will save that one for a later date, or later in this video, when we put another one together. We have some parts controllers out there, and we can bring one in and we can swipe the membranes out of it and put a 3rd controller together, and hopefully we can find another good casing that'll kind of match this one. You know, just a little bit of yellowing. I don't mind a little bit of yellowing. You can kind of get them close. They, you know, they look good in the set, or, you know, on the system. So we will work on that as well. So I'm just gonna take the best of these 2 and build our good second controller, so we have 2 for this Nintendo NES. So I will get one put together, and like I said, I'll take the best of parts, and then the membranes, you know, these 2 membranes match. We'll use those 2. The buttons are all pretty much look the same, and so do the select and start and the D-pads. The only thing that was kind of nasty on that was the membrane switches for the A and B. This one there's 2 different colors of PCBs in these, and if you remember, the last one we did, if I'm not mistaken, was this lighter brown. So we'll use it, and we'll save this one for the next controller that we build for another system. Alright, that's one. We got one put together and ready. Got 2 really nice controllers with this one. RF adapter, our zapper gun, and right now I have Mario 2 playing in it, and I will go over to storage and get my regular Super Marios out with Duck Hunt and put one of those games with it. I have a big stack of them. These consoles, I don't think I mentioned it earlier, that years ago, when nobody was really getting into the old Nintendo game systems, I was buying these consoles for $5 a console, with no controllers or nothing. I just would buy the console it is, and I'd had people bringing them in down at the outdoor market, and at 3-4 at a time. So I just put them all in a stack, and then when I had the game store, controllers were coming in. People, I'd tell them, you know, the old NES controllers, any of the older controllers, you bring them into me, I'll give you $1 or $2 for them, and that's how I ended up with that crate full of them too. And zapper guns. And power supplies, I always went with these old schools, because the originals, every once in a while somebody would bring me in an original, but most of them, they didn't work. lot of those had burned up years ago. So I put an old school with it, and I just over the years have been making up systems as I need them. I have that stack of 10 that we're working on right now. We'll get 2 more out of that and get them going and get everything put with them. And then over in the shop I have a tote over there. I think there's another 10 or 15 of them over there floating around as well. And there's a bunch of them with just cases and some with just the extra boards that wouldn't even take a 72-pin game connector, and they still wouldn't work. And you know, and I have so many of them that I don't really worry about fixing the boards on them. I'll throw them in a tote, and if someday if I need to, I'll pull them out and start working on boards too, and see if we can get just the board going and get a whole system put back together. So mainly that's how I kind of accumulated a big pile of these NESs. And hey, you know, I just was looking forward. I kind of seen that things were kind of picking up and people were coming in and started asking for NES games and all that, so I was just buying up as many of these Nintendos as I could. So I'm going to get 2 more of them going. I won't video any of it unless I run into something that's really interesting. I'll show you, and then at the end here I'll show you I have 3 systems working and ready to go. Alright, there's 3 NES systems ready to go. Just missing a few things. I'm missing one power supply, which is ordered and on its way. It'll be here by the end of the week. And my games. And tomorrow I'm going over to storage and find a box with all my games, and then I'll clean up three games and put with them, and we'll have 3 complete Nintendo entertainment systems. We have 2 with the zappers, this one and that one, and we have that one, which is just going to be the regular NES with 2 controllers. I was able to find 6 decent controllers. This one's got a little bit of a bite out of it, but you know, it's not all yellow. I have some out there I showed you that were really yellow. And all I had to do on all 3 of them was just change the 72-pin game connectors. You know, most of the time on these, that's normally all you have to do when you have the red blinking light is put a 72 game pin connector in it and make sure your game and games are clean. If your games are clean and your pin connector's good, your NES will work. So I have these 3 ready to go. Those will go down this weekend. Like I said, we have 3 people that requested that I get them Nintendo systems. So we'll be ready for them now. Right now, I looked them up, and the Nintendos with the zapper gun and everything, and the game and all that, without the box, is going for $120, which is kind of that's a little much, if you ask me. And the other one, that's about $100 or more, depending on where you look. You know, if you go on eBay and look them up, they're like $124.99 plus anywhere from $13 to $30 shipping. So, you know, go figure. And I use a pay site to look up all my games and game systems, and it takes an average of everything that's been sold over the past month, and you get a price. And the system without the box last month was like $151 on the site. This month they're like $120, $125 for the whole thing. But I'll take them down, and I'm just gonna flat out ask $80 a piece for them, and I'll make them go away, and if they do, then I'll put more together. We have 7 more consoles over there to go over that can be put together. I can round up enough stuff, even if we have to put aftermarket controllers with them. No zapper guns. I don't think I have any more zapper guns. I'm almost positive that's my last 2 out of everything, but I do have aftermarket zapper guns. But you know, like I said, you have to be playing on a CRT TV in order for the zapper gun to work. And if you're playing on an LCD, it's not going to work. CRT only. Has something to do with the reflection off of the CRT, the lead base and all that. You get the reflection back, and that's what makes those guns work. That's why, like I said earlier on our video, on our arcade machines, you can't put an LCD in a gun game. It has to be the old CRT. But this isn't the last of putting systems together. I have to do an Xbox. We sold the Xbox. I've told you that many times. And I have one sitting there that's pretty nasty, and all the screws are out of it, so I know I've been in that one, so there's something going on. But I have a box of them over in storage, so when I go over there to get my other stuff, I'll just pick up that box and we'll bring that over. And then my wife told me that there's a guy that comes in all the time. He's looking for an Atari 2600. I already started a video on that. That one's being a little, you know what. So I put that back in the box and came over here and started on the NES's. And she sold the PS2 Slim over the weekend, so I got to grab another one of those and get that all put back together. And again, same thing. I got to find my power bricks over in storage for those controllers. Sony controllers are total, you know what. So I always put a new aftermarket controller with those Slims. We have, let's see, is that non-working? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 that are non-working. And then over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 more that work. The 2 Wii's work. Just need fixed up. Put the doors on it. I have new doors for them. That's first gen. Black one, second gen. I have a good GameCube sitting here. Two Fat Styles. If I'm not mistaken, they both work. Just that I'm waiting for the door. I got to find a door for the drawer on that one. And all of the 360s, these all work. All 5 of those, same thing. I have 2 of them already over there, and nobody's really paying any attention to them. They're after the retro stuff. In fact, I even have a Super NES over there that I did, and it sits there, and people want the NES, or the Xbox, or the PlayStation 2. I know, they make you sick. But that's going to do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed the video, and you'll be seeing a little bit more of this game, of my retro game stuff, because I'm starting to have a call for it. Same with my stereo equipment. I'm starting to have more calls for the stereo equipment. I picked up another VCR DVD combo and another Technics CD 5-disc change CD player that we got to check over. I have a big old realistic receiver sitting there that was donated for video purposes by TC, and a realistic turntable that he donated for video purposes. I do have a reel-to-reel, an old tube type reel-to-reel that I am pissing with and working on. I have video that I'm working on it, but I'm missing a belt. got to find a belt for it, and I tested it out on camera and it does work, and we're just kind of in the process of cleaning it up, doing a few repairs on it, and I need a belt for the rewind side. Play side is okay, but the rewind side, half of the stuff was broken and apart and in a box, but I got that all fixed up, and now all it needs a belt, and we can finish that up and have some fun with a little reel-to-reel tube type. It's a signature made for Sears. So like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, a couple old record players. So until next time, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Till next time, see ya.